Well, welcome back. This is an extremely important little series in very small bite-sized chunks. And we are looking at a book called Rav Avigdor Miller's new translation of the Chovot Halevavot, which means duties of the mind, but it also can mean duties of the heart. And it's based off this work here called Duties of the Heart. And it's made up of a series of gates, and there are 10 gates in total. And the gate I thought we would focus on is gate 5, which is the gate of wholehearted devotion of all acts. And we're obviously up to number 5, so there's 6 parts to this gate, and this is the 5th part. And it's entitled On the Enticement of the Evil Inclination. So this is volume 2 of a 2-volume set. It can come in a 2-volume set. I think it can come in a 1-volume set. And this book here is the commentary by a modern day rabbi. I think he lived up until the early 2000s. And he was quite a straight shooter. And he's a refreshing voice, and I recommend you go out and start purchasing books by this rabbi, because if you're anything like me and you just want somebody to tell you subjects straight down the line without sugarcoating it, this is the guy to get. And I thought I would focus on the obstacles that the evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara, throws up at us, because all of us have an evil inclination. All of us have this small voice that tries to draw us away from doing the right thing. And it's a part of our makeup. We have a Yetzer Tov and we have a Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Tov is the good inclination. And so there's a war going on in each individual. And it's a war that lasts a lifetime. And the ultimate goal of the Yetzer Hara is to destroy you. And the methods and modes of attack are infinite, almost infinite. And its best method of attack is not an open battle, not open war. It attacks in a style of like guerrilla warfare. Even if that means encouraging you to continue to study the Torah, believe it or not. And it will compliment you and encourage you to keep learning. And then it will tell you, well, you've come so far, how about you just rest for a bit? And so it'll do things like that. So it won't do normally full frontal attacks. Certainly if you're somebody who is really trying hard, it has to be more subtle with its attacks. And so we're up to page 167 of the 5th gate, and the subheading is the benefit of being popular. And so what we're about to read is the Yetzer Hara trying to shift you from becoming somebody who's pleasing Hashem to somebody who's pleasing people. And so let's read and see some of the insights that Rav Avigdor Miller gives us on this subject. When people agree that you are a fine man, then you can look forward to success and honor. You will find customers for your business, and you will get the best shidduchim for your children, that is, future partners for your children. But when you antagonize people, you can expect them to shun you, resulting in a loss in many material things. Therefore, says the Yetzer Hara, try to please them and find favor in their eyes. As our sages of blessed memory said, if you are well liked by your fellow men, you are well liked by Hashem. So we can see the Yetzer Hara is actually quoting like righteous individuals to get you to agree to focus on being somebody who pleases people first and then Hashem second. And so it's it's see how I was saying that it doesn't do a full frontal attack. It actually rolls with you in what you are trying to discover and learn, and it uses that information in a subtle way to steer you off the path. The author warns us against the following mindset. If I satisfy people, Hashem will be satisfied with me. In practice, we don't follow what the author is saying, but we do try to find favor in people's eyes, get a good name, for example. But if you behave in such a way, it'll be for your benefit and you'll be rewarded in this world. The Chovot Halevavot wants us to keep in mind that that's not the right way. It's only necessary for us to move out of our rut and start accomplishing things. He explains how we should reply to the persuasion of the Yetzer Hara. Although we're going to learn it and understand the ideal attitude in these matters, again, understand that almost all of us, including myself, respond to the low method of encouragement. And so what's the low method of encouragement? It's the immediate positive results that come about by you doing the right thing. And so that can shift your mindset from being results-based rather than being truth-based. So a lot of us are pursuing the truth. A lot of us are trying to find the right path, but we tend to succeed in that venture in proportion to success, in proportion to maybe the blessing of the prosperity that comes with that, or the blessing of being seen in the eyes of people as being righteous or being somebody important. And these are things that we should not have in our mind as goals in our learning, but to please the one and only, to please Hashem. And all these other things may come with that, and they generally do, but they're not things that we should consciously pursue. So that's the low method of encouragement is encourage anyway. It goes on to say, I'll let Rav Avigdor Miller explain. Parents tell their children, and rabbis tell their talmidim, and rabbis tell their congregations, do these things because they're going to help you. People will like you. It's going to be a benefit in many ways when the world sees that you're a man of proper behavior. Encouraging learning is always based on that. Showing off is a very big factor. People don't realize how much the desire for kavod, for glory, from people is the dynamo that makes them learn. If you take out the dynamo, the whole machinery will stop functioning. Just to learn because Hashem wants us to is not enough. And so in a way we can become addicted to the reactions we are getting from our successes in our learning and our mitzvot and our good deeds that we are achieving. And if they slow down or stop for some reason, that can really throw us in our learning and our observance, because it can discourage us. Whereas if we don't hold them as something that is a motivator behind our desire to learn and draw closer to Hashem, even despite successes or failures, we'll still continue. And that's a really big thing. And I'm glad you've stopped to watch this video, because maybe this is something that you've been looking for quite a long time and haven't really heard it being put into words like this, which is how I felt when I came across these works. However, although we're going to follow this low system of encouragement because we can't help it, we should learn the way that Hashem expects of those who are devoted to Him. When we know that there's such thing as serving Hashem, not because of any interest of what people will think, only what Hashem will think, that itself is a big accomplishment. Even though we're not obeying it, at least we know what's expected of us. When a person learns today, Shilo Lishmo'ah, but he knows the teaching of the Chovot Halevavot, he hopes in his heart that maybe someday he'll come to Lishma. Even though he won't arrive at any real Lishma, a certain level of Lishma, that is the awareness of the right way, it is already mixed in his deeds. He is never learned the Chovot Halevavot. It never entered his mind, and he's always learning for some low reason, such as so that people will respect him, or that he should be successful in this world. This man has fallen short of his service of Hashem in these areas. That's not called service of Hashem. It just tells it straight to you. So all these people who are succeeding in learning should know that one of the great forces that is driving them is a desire for recognition and glory. People who have high up teaching jobs in the yeshivot also want glory, at least, however, if they learn the Chovot Halevavot, they know there's something more than that is required. It's standing in the background as an ideal, and the little of that ideal is mixed into all the things they do. That's why it's important to learn the ideals. Even if you aren't going to do them, at least you know there is such an ideal. So it gives a tinge of lishma, that is the awareness of the right way, to what you're doing. It's so refreshing to read the explanation of these things and shining lights on the tactics of the Yetzer Hara that it uses, because its best attacks against you, if you've clicked on this video, if you're watching this video and you get some of the things or most of the things I'm saying here, and it's encouraging you, then you're already on a quite a good level. And so the only advantage, the only success the Yetzer Hara is going to have against you is these subtle type of attacks. It's almost imperceptible to see a lot of the times, and you can find yourself having fallen quite a ways, and it's not until you sort of backtrack back and see all the decisions that you made to get where you were, and they're all tiny little increments that make up a whole, you can say, it's led me this, it's led me to there, it's led me to there, it's led me to there, and I didn't challenge it at each of these points, and now look where I am. I'm here desiring people to watch my videos, desiring people to click like, desiring people to share, desiring for people to talk about me in a positive way. And that's not the way. The way is purely just to serve Hashem and be devoted for Him for the sake of having that or pursuing that tight, close relationship with Him and being attached to His wisdom, which it can potentially put you into a state of being in Gan Eden, being in that great orchard and tasting of the sweetness of the Torah. Because sometimes it takes quite a few years for the Torah to actually develop in your mouth with a sweet, savory taste. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful to you. Just to go over what we looked at, it was the fifth gate. It was part 6 of the fifth gate in the Duties of the Heart. And these are the commentaries of Rav Avigdor Miller to that gate. And the subheading was the subject under the overarching subject of the attacks of the Yetzer Hara and how to deal with them is the benefit of being popular. So the Yetzer Hara is going to push you to want to pursue popularity first, and then and then obeying Hashem second. You might think to yourself, well, you're still obeying Hashem, and that's right, but it's put you in that lesser position, and then down the track it will try another move on you and then route you out from there and then push you back even more. So you have to be aware of all its conniving ways, and you can learn a lot from the Yetzer Hara. You can learn how to combat it using its own tactics, and hopefully we'll get to look at those in some other videos. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye for now.